Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zac Boam, and I'm a sales engineer with Imperva Italis Company. I wanted to welcome you to our multi-part video series on Imperva Cloud Web Application Firewall Basics. In this series, we're going to discuss topics such as how do I onboard an application into the WAF? Once I've onboarded my application, how do I create policy and custom rules and apply them to specific domains or entire accounts? How do I interpret security events when invariably they arise? And everything in between. I appreciate you joining me on this journey, and I thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zac Boam, and I'm a sales engineer with Imperva Italis Company. It will be my privilege today to present to you a review of the monthly security assessment report that gets sent out to account administrators for anybody on a Cloud Web Application Firewall subscription plan with Imperva. This report is a high-level health check to ensure that you have proper configurations put in place within the Cloud Web Application Firewall console. There are 4 major sections that we'll review, and without further ado, let's jump in. You'll notice here that I've pulled a security assessment report, and the date that I pulled it was today, September the 29th, 2025, for my account, which is my Zac Boam demo account. You can verify which account this was pulled from if you have sub-accounts by verifying the account ID, which is available to you either on a parent account basis or a sub-account basis in the console. On this report, we see that we've got a score of 55 out of 100, which is not something to brag about. Typically, we like to see these reports scored a little bit higher. But this score is the accumulation of points from these 4 major sections: the DNS configuration, the DDoS settings, the WAF settings, and origin access. We'll go in depth on each of these sections, and we'll bounce back and forth between the report and the console to ensure proper configurations and to show what steps need to be taken to remedy these scores. In addition to this video, there's also a required action box in every one of these reports that's pulled. This required action box will contain the steps that we recommend you take in order to remediate any low scores. We'll first start with DNS configuration. DNS configuration is referencing whether or not you have your websites properly configured in your public-facing DNS to point traffic towards the Imperva Cloud Proxy. Now, what that would typically look like if you had more applications that were onboarded and some of them were configured improperly. You would have your account name and your site name, so this is typically the domain name, the configuration status, which would say that it is not configured properly, and then the A records and the C name that Imperva recommends or technically requires that you input to your DNS to point traffic to Imperva's Cloud Proxy so that those domains can be receiving protection. Until you make these changes, you add either the A records and the C name or just the C name, traffic from your DNS will not be directed to the Imperva proxy. So it's imperative that this section shows a perfect score if you require protection on each of the domains that are onboarded to the WAF. Let's go to the DDoS settings. I get questions from customers regularly about whether or not their score of 0 out of 20 means that they are not protected from DDoS. The short answer is you are still protected from DDoS attacks if you received 0 out of 20 in this section. What this section is referencing is DDoS attacks at layer 7 and the threshold in requests per second at which Imperva will recognize a potential DDoS attack. Imperva's Cloud Web Application Firewall will apply a default threshold to any domain that is onboarded to the WAF of 1,000 requests per second. Now, over a period of time, typically over the months that this report is pulled, Imperva will give you a recommended threshold. That recommended threshold is based off of an algorithm that Imperva runs on all of the legitimate traffic that we send to your server. The lowest that we can recommend is 100 requests per second. So what this section is telling me is that I have a threshold that is set too high relative to my recommended threshold. I obviously on my application am not receiving 1,000 requests per second. So the recommendation in this section is to lower that threshold to something closer to 100 requests per second. Typically, I recommend that you leave it at least 1.5 times what the recommended threshold is. That way you avoid any false positive notifications on potential DDoS attacks. What actually occurs when Imperva surpasses the threshold that's set is that Imperva will issue a challenge to ensure validity of any requests making it to your server. When we issue that challenge, you have options. And let me show you where to make these changes in the console. For my websites, I will click on Application. And then I'll click on my domain name, which in this case is www.zacsflyshop.com. Website Settings. From website settings, I will come down to the WAF subsection. And you'll notice I have a DDoS subsection here. There are two issues with this. What we normally recommend for customers is to leave their DDoS settings in automatic mode, which means that when we surpass this threshold that's listed, we will issue a challenge to ensure validity. You can see that challenge under mitigation settings here. Here's where you would set the threshold. So in this case, I have 1,000 requests per second. My report recommended I leave it at 100, so I will change it to 150 requests per second. The challenge for unknown clients, meaning when we surpass the threshold, what challenge is Imperva going to issue? The default is cookie support, which means that Imperva will challenge that client to support and return a cookie. If they can return that cookie value, we will consider that request legitimate, at least from a DDoS perspective. If you want something more aggressive, you can change to JavaScript support or a human interaction, which is a CAPTCHA. I'm going to go ahead and save these settings, which means that I have now adjusted my DDoS settings and will receive a higher score in my account security assessment. Let's go ahead and jump back to the report and move on to WAF settings. WAF settings is in reference to the default or out-of-the-box rule set that Imperva issues regarding OWASP top 10 threats, specifically cross-site scripting, illegal resource access, remote file inclusion, and SQL injection. Now, there is a default policy, and I'll show you where to find that in the console. But you'll notice in this report that for my www.zacsflyshop.com domain, I have everything except for cross-site scripting set to alert. Cross-site scripting is the only one in our default policy that is always set to alert. Now, we do that so that you avoid any false positives on development or developer behavior that may appear as cross-site scripting. If that's not the case for your applications, if your developers don't require any actions that resemble cross-site scripting, you can come into the WAF, into your console. We'll go ahead and click on Application. We'll click on the WAF setting on the left, come to WAF Policies, and identify the default policy for our WAF. We'll double-click into that, and you'll see automatically under the Configuration heading that we have cross-site scripting set to alert. The rest of these, illegal resource access, remote file inclusion, and SQL injection, are all set to block. We'll go ahead and do the same thing for cross-site scripting, and don't forget to click Save at the bottom. Now, at the next time that this report is pulled, we should show that this is a full 20 out of 20 score, and that all of my policies have been set to block rather than not set to block. Let's move on to the last step, origin access. This is the only section of the report that doesn't have a configuration available in the Cloud WAF console. That's because origin access is in reference to a vulnerability known as the WAF bypass vulnerability. WAF bypass is essentially the concept where if a user knows the IP address of your server and they choose to bypass DNS, either by spoofing a host file or by going direct to your IP, they have the option to bypass the WAF entirely and therefore receive no inspection on the requests they send. You'll notice on my domain here, here's my IP, 13.217, and it's open on both port 80 and port 443. The way that Imperva identifies which ports are open is that we run a scan across those ports to determine whether or not we, outside of our public IP range, can access your IP on those ports. If we're able to establish a session on those ports, we consider them open. The recommended or required action in order to remediate this is to create an access control list, or in AWS, they're called security groups. A security group that limits access to your server, or specifically to this IP, exclusively to the Imperva public IP ranges, which you can find under this hyperlink here. Once you've done that, the next time that this report pulls, Imperva will find that we are no longer able to open a session on port 80 or 443 if we are outside of that public IP range. And therefore, nobody else should be able to access your server unless they are going through the WAF, going through the public DNS. That sums up the total of our report today. If you have any questions about any of the remediation steps, or if you want to schedule some time with a sales engineer like myself, please don't hesitate to reach out to our partners at Network Consulting Services Incorporated. It's been a pleasure working with you today, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.